Hello, everyone. It's Laura with the Get Clear Show, and I'm excited today because I have somebody very special with me. Her name is Cassie Streit, and Cassie is going to be talking to us today about some branding stuff. And Cassie is a designer. She does all kinds of fancy, wonderful stuff. She does logos. I was just recently on her website, and I found out that she does some awesome stuff with sandblasting and just all sorts of things. She's a wonderful digital designer. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Cassie Streit. Cassie, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So I know my audience would like to know a little bit about you, how you got started doing design, and a little bit about your business. You are a very busy woman. You're working a full-time job, and you and your husband also own this other business. But tell us a little about yourself and how you got started.
Well, my husband and I have been together for 13 years now, and when he and I were in our relationship just a couple months, he came to me and he said, I have an opportunity to purchase this turnkey business. It's for sandblasting. We could do pools, we could do race car chassis, and his list just went on. And I was thinking, you know, I only have known you for a couple of months. We weren't even married at that time.
Oh my.
And I'm not sure I want to make that type of a commitment with this guy. I don't know him. So we let it slide, and he was a little mad at me, but time went on. We still love each other. We got married. We started our life together. And we're at a farmer's market because we've always grown produce and sold it during the summer at farmer's markets. And we run a...
Cassie, your video has cut off.
I had a call coming in. And anyway, so we're talking to this guy, and he says, you know, it's not hard to start your own sandblasting business. And the whole ride home, that's all we could talk about, was how this opportunity had come to us once. We had passed it up, and here we are again. We're presented with this opportunity to start sandblasting, and we have knowledge in the same community that we can utilize. So we did it. We took the plunge. And with the rock sandblasting came glass blast, and the next step to that is to get into vinyl. So we got into vinyl, and now we do t-shirts and hats and mugs and window clings and car decals and anything you can think of that we can design. My husband kind of does the grunt work. He's really good with the patience that I don't possess. And he's really good with sales too, which I'm not. I just want to design it and make people happy, and that's what he lets me do. So we complement each other very well in our business, and I'm very blessed to have him. And that's how it started.
Well, Cassie, I know that just recently you did a logo for my daughter's business, and it was absolutely amazing. I was sitting in the room with her as she was messaging you back and forth, and she was sending you different ideas, and you sent her one design. She's like, oh, can we change this? I think she wanted to change the farm or something on her design, and she sent it back, and then finally she got exactly what she wanted, and she says, like, she read my mind. So it was pretty awesome. Really, really, really cool design that she has. And I said, I need this woman to make a design for me. So here's my problem right now in my particular business is I'm sort of stuck with, I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go for my personal branding in my business. So for somebody like me who's a little stuck and says, yeah, I'm not quite sure which direction I want to go, I have so many different projects. I'm getting ready to do a webinar, and so I want that look to be different, maybe from my talk show look and all of these things. How would you help somebody like me?
Yeah, we would just start out with the basics. What do you want? And I would draw up anything and everything that you wanted, and we would go from there. And it's a process of elimination and fine-tuning, kind of like with Tiffany. She didn't like the arm. I took the arm off. And then she liked another piece of it, but not the other piece that I added. So it's just about working together and communicating, and it's about what you like, because it's your business, and you're the one that is going to be handing this out on your business card. It's going to be on your website, so you have to be happy with it, not me. So that's where we start. We just start with basics, and I've had projects that have gone 6 months. I've had projects that have gone 6 days. It's about what you want, and I try my best to listen to you, and we make changes, and bring in different elements. And sometimes we scrap it and start all over, and that's fine. because things change. People change their business platform. They change the direction in which they're going. So, yeah, that's just it.
Well, one thing that I was very intrigued with when I went to your website, which, by the way, folks, is down in the description at the bottom of this interview here, and you can go ahead and go to Cassie's website, go to their website and check out the work that they do, because it is very fascinating. But every once in a while, I will drive down the street in my neighborhood and I will see somebody that has this big rock with their last name on it or some kind of a design, maybe their favorite football team or something. And I've never really given much thought as to how that rock got the design on there until I went to your website and I said, that is really cool. And I want to know how they do that. So, I mean, without giving away any trade secrets or something like that, what does that process entail?
Well, Laura, I hate to interrupt you. My battery may die here in a second. It's telling me it's hot on my screen, but
Okay.
we'll go ahead. What we do is we have vinyl that we work with, and we take your design and we use a cutter and we cut your design out on the vinyl and lay it across the object that we're going to sandblast. And we use high pressure media. In most cases, we use a glass grit, which is like teeny tiny little balls of glass. And it comes out of the nozzle at 120 PSI, which is pretty hard and pretty fast. You don't want your finger in front of it, it hurts. And we sandblast the image, or glass blast the image that is cut out, kind of stenciled with that vinyl onto the object that we're blasting, whether it's glass or whether it's rock. If that makes any sense.
I'm sure it does, but it would be so fascinating to get to watch a process like that. It's just really interesting. So do you start with the design first before you even do the blasting? You obviously, because otherwise you would waste your rock, right? Or your glass, whatever you're doing. So you said sometimes the process of getting a good design can take a few days. I know in Tiffany's case, it was just a few hours. It didn't take long at all. And maybe that was, I don't know if it was just the two of you communicating well or she had a simple design. I really don't know. But when it takes a long time, I'm assuming you charge your customers more, or if it's more detailed. Am I right about that?
No. Design is included in the price of anything that we sell. If it becomes an excessive design where it's incredibly intricate and it's going to take the production time longer, then we might increase the price. But I typically do not charge for my design time. If anything, it's a setup fee that I might charge, and I normally do that just with t-shirts because my heat press heats my house up, which increased my cost, and so there's just a small fee for me doing t-shirts, and it's a one-time fee front, and then they never see it again.
I actually worked in an embroidery place for a little while here last year, maybe a year and a half ago now. I wasn't there very long, and it was interesting. I worked there because I wanted to learn about design, which didn't end up happening, which is why I'm not working there anymore. But I found that those vinyl cutouts and the heat presses and all that, I mean, that's a lot of work. It really is, just for one t-shirt. And so I understand what you're saying when you say it heats up the house.
Yes, and right now the temperature that we have ours set out is 365 degrees, and it's like taking two irons and having the top and the bottom at 365 degrees, just putting that heat out there in the house. So it can get kind of warm.
Recently, I've interviewed a couple of other graphic artists and graphic designers, and one of the questions that I have for them is, how did they decide what logo to go with for themselves? And the answer that I keep seeming to get back is, it's really easy for them to help somebody else find a brand and logo for them, but when it comes to doing it for themselves, they said that's like a total nightmare. Was that true for you?
100%. If I didn't have my husband and his ideas, I probably still would not have a logo to this day. Honestly, we were in business for a year and a half before I even attempted to do a logo for ourselves. And I came up with 6 ideas, and I said, tell me what you like. And he didn't like any of them. So it took me another 2 months to start back on that project. And by then he had developed some, hey, I like this. Or we would drive down the road and he'd say, can you do something like that on somebody else's billboard? So that was helpful. And like I said, he has the patience of Job, which I do not possess. And so he was very helpful and instrumental in the process of logo, because if it was just me, we probably still wouldn't have one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I seem to hear that a lot from graphic artists and graphic designers. Well, I don't want to keep you. I know your battery is going to die, so I'm trying to move along as quickly as possible as we can in this. But one thing that I always talk to my guests about, because what I do is digital marketing. I don't do what you do. I don't do the branding. I don't do the logos. I don't do that. But I do help my people do marketing through various platforms such as YouTube or Facebook or social network, those types of things. And so what I'm really curious about, especially in this digital age where you're sending, we're miles away from where you are, and yet you were still able to get my daughter her logo. So how do you all market yourself? What platforms are you using? Are you just staying local? Are you using social media to do that? How do you go about letting people know you exist?
When it comes to paying for advertising, we do stay local. There's a fantastic program here in Salina that's the Salina Plus magazine, and you get your ad mailed to everybody in the 67401 zip code, which is Salina, for $150 a quarter. And that's amazing and affordable, and I love it.
Yeah.
Of the grassroots programs, we have a radio station here in town that does trade work. So if we give them a certain amount of products that they put up for auction later on, then they give us a certain amount of radio advertisement. And we've used that program a few times. It's local. I like to support local. Facebook is our major platform that we use, and if it wasn't for my friends and family, we wouldn't have a business, because they've liked our stuff, they've shared our images, they've encouraged their friends to like our page, and that's how we've really grown. Another thing that we do is we support other small businesses. There is currently a consignment shop here in Salina who has vendors that she has that come in. She let us do her windows for her, which I was very thankful for and excited to do, because we hadn't done anything that big yet.
Wow.
She can design and size, and she's just fantastic to work with. So anything that she can post on Facebook, I share it on our personal Facebook pages and our business Facebook pages. My motto is, if I'm not helping someone up the ladder, I'm not getting up the ladder myself. So I have to help other small businesses in order to be a successful small business. And that's basically just how we've marketed ourselves.
I totally agree with that. I just did a video a few weeks ago about how important it is to give things away. Just sort of, I really believe strongly in helping each other. I do a lot of collaborative work with other people. Sometimes people will do things for me, in exchange I do stuff for them. And I think everybody just helps each other. And that's an awesome way to grow your business, just an awesome way. So, I don't want to keep you too long, Cassie, but is it possible for you to let us know, can people go find your business on Facebook if they want to, not just your website? Or is it better for them to just go to the website?
We have a link from our website over to our Facebook page, but if you don't like to deal with websites, you can just search for Streit Sandblasting, Streit Sandblasting on Facebook, and you will see our double S logo. The extension of our business that does the vinyl is called Stick It with Streit Sandblasting, because what do you do with vinyl? You stick it on stuff. So you'll see that in the backdrop on our cover page, our Stick It banner. And of course, you can always like me personally on Facebook, Cassie Streit. I usually accept friend requests. If you send me a message and I don't know you, I'll just say, hey, I heard you on Laura Wing's YouTube show, and I'll go ahead and friend you, and we'll go from there if you have any questions for me about the business.
That is so awesome, Cassie. Thank you so much I know you are extremely busy. You just got off your other job, and I see you on Facebook. You're always doing something. So you just got off your other job, and I caught you while you're driving home, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out to do this interview with me today. I think that it is important for us to promote other businesses. I think it is really important for the people that I serve to get to know what their options are out there when they are trying to market their business. I have a lot of clients that I do business coaching for, and they're looking for a logo, and that's not something that I have the skills or technology to help them with. So I always try to send them somewhere else. So anyway, hopefully we can send some people your way, and I definitely appreciate you being on the show. I'm going to let you get going so your battery doesn't die and you can get on home to your family finally, right? It's been a long day, and I know it's probably hot in that car too. So anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Folks, you've been watching the Get Clear show, and we've been talking to Cassie Streit, who is a wonderful, wonderful graphic designer. And I encourage you to go check out her website. There's a link on the bottom of this page, or go find her on Facebook. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye, Cassie.